Thank you so much, Ava, for this beautiful introduction. And thank you all for inviting me to share this very special moment with you today. And thank you to Wanda, a force of nature, who invited me to be here. And as you know, there is a law of nature as immutable as the law of gravity that nobody says no to Wanda. And thank you already to Maya, to Sarah, to Ava for these beautiful words. And Sarah, I must say, the way your issue had been with your last name, my issue all my life has been with my accent. You know, I tried to change it. I had a dialect coach. I had an elocution coach. And finally, I gave it up when I met Henry Kissinger. And he said to me, you know, Arianna, stop worrying about your accent. In American public life, you can never underestimate the advantages of complete and total incomprehensibility. So I've spent quite some time learning about you online, asking people, doing my research like a good journalist. And you're just an amazing, amazing class. And this is an amazing, amazing school. And the first thing I wish is that I could be a Hamlin girl. So I don't know, how can we make that happen? Can we invent a time machine and I can come back to join you? Because truly, when I was reading about your adventures, your trip to Yosemite, which had you hiking through freezing temperatures and snow, your 8th grade musical, Beauty and the Beast, which I wish I could see. If it's ever reprised, let me know. And then your emphasis on STEM education and coming up with that word I've never heard before, a STEMinist, which I'm absolutely going to steal and use all the time. And the rise to the challenge, and your incredible volunteering to Lava May, to homeless shelters, to transitional centers reading to children. So I know that I don't need to say anything to you about the need to engage in the world, to make the world better. You have that in spades. Hamlin has given that to you. You have given that to each other. So what I want to speak about, as Ava kind of predicted, is I want to urge you to redefine success and to take care of yourselves along the journey. Because what's happening right now, especially in your generation, is that technology has invaded every aspect of our lives. And it has made it harder and harder for us to disconnect from technology, to disconnect from shallow connections and reconnect with ourselves in a deeper way. I'm Greek, and I cherish Greek philosophers. Know thyself. What Socrates said about the unexamined life is not worth living. These are the precepts that I hope you're going to take with you as you leave Hamlin. And that necessitates setting boundaries in your relationship to technology. You have to realize that how many likes the picture of your salad gets has absolutely nothing to do with your self-worth. You have to realize that in fact, who you are, your identity, is completely independent of the images you and others portray in social media. And that FOMO, the fear of missing out, is one of the most dangerous ways to approach life. I want you today to embrace JOMO, the joy of missing out. Because that will mean that you begin to take better care of yourselves than you take care of your smartphones. Because right now we take better care of our smartphones, let's face it. I bet everybody here, your family, friends, faculty, know approximately how much battery remains in their smartphones. But if you ask them how they're doing, even if they're exhausted and running on empty, they may say fine, because that's how we're used to leading our lives, depleted, frenetic. And your generation, you amazing Hamlin class of 2017, need to lead the way to change that. And it starts with changing the language we use. You snooze, you lose needs to be eliminated from your vocabulary. Congratulating people for working 24/7 and being always on needs to be eliminated from your vocabulary. Because the truth is that your performance, your success, your joy in life are always enhanced when you take care of yourself first. You know what they say on airplanes? Put your own oxygen mask first. And then you'll be better at handling all your responsibilities and everything you're going to do in the world. And that starts with something very simple. And that is the recognition that Hamlin class of 2017, sleep is not optional. All science proves unequivocally that unless you have a genetic mutation, which means you can do fine on 3 or 4 hours, and maybe some people here have a genetic mutation, about 1.5% of the population does. The vast majority of us need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Give them to yourself, and everything else in your life will be better. And when you go to high school and when you go to college and you hear the meme, schoolwork, social life, sleep, pick 2, don't believe that. Because when you pick sleep, everything will be better, including your grades and your social life. And for those of you who have already forgotten Biology 101, you cannot train yourself to have a genetic mutation. So, very simply, I recommend one little step, which is at the end of your day, as a transition to the time to recharge, turn off all your devices and gently escort them out of your bedroom. And if you're in college and you don't have anything except your bedroom, put your smartphone in a little suitcase, lock it up, and put it on the top shelf in your closet. Because the truth is that we are all addicted to our devices. We are all addicted to being always on, perpetually distracted. And the people who are going to create the future are the people who can disconnect from the distractions and connect with themselves. That's where the deepest wisdom and creativity are coming from. And from that place, stop believing that multitasking is the way to succeed. Multitasking is the most stressful thing you can do, and it really doesn't exist. When I started living in this different way, and mine was a painful wake-up call 10 years ago, I actually collapsed from sleep deprivation, exhaustion, and doing everything wrong, hit my head on my desk, broke my cheekbone. So I got this lesson the hard way. But you don't need to get it the hard way. You can just learn from my mistakes. And so when you realize that, you see that every aspect of your life is enhanced. When I realized that, and I started walking the streets of New York where I live without being on my phone, without texting while walking, I started noticing things that I had completely missed. I remember walking with a friend in Soho and seeing a beautiful building and saying to my friend, "This is gorgeous. When did it go up?" And she said, 1920. So I wonder, what else did I miss? And you mentioned about being anxious. So let me ask you to not be anxious. Let me ask you, whatever happens in your life, to see as part of a larger blueprint and a larger pattern that may not make sense as you are living it, but will make sense when you look back on your life. My favorite quote that sums this up, that I have it by my bed, is by the Persian poet Rumi. He said, "Live life as though everything is rigged in your favor." So whatever happens, however painful, see it as a blessing in disguise. And recognize that when you come up with some better ways to live life, when you learn little lessons and you apply them, share them with others. We need to have this global conversation. And I want you to share them on my new media platform, thriveglobal.com. That's all about this conversation. And to make it super easy for you to become contributors, I'm going to give you my email address right now. And I know you don't have anywhere to write, but I'm sure Wanda and your teachers and everybody and your parents can write it down for you. So it's ah@thriveglobal.com. Share your stories. Please share these beautiful speeches you gave today, and we'll publish them and social them. And people can learn from them much more than they can learn from a picture of a salad on Instagram. So, not being anxious includes not being afraid of failure. I love what Wanda said. And Wanda has already written 2 beautiful pieces on thriveglobal.com, so she can tell you how great we are. Wanda wrote, I'm not sure that I have ever overcome failure. I integrate moments of failure into my life, and I harness the life lessons to become a stronger person. We are all in need of repair. And when I remember that failure is an opportunity, not a liability, I feel whole again. That's what my mother taught me too. She used to say, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a stepping stone to success. And when you realize that, you are less anxious and less worried about taking risks. And you are less likely to listen to that voice that we all have in our head, that I call the obnoxious roommate living in our head. The voice of negative self-talk, of self-doubt, of judgments. You're much less likely to listen to that voice when you see life as a journey that includes failure, that includes success, that includes mistakes from which we learn. So let me finish by saying that there is now a collective longing to stop living in the shallows and recognize that life is actually shaped from the inside out. A truth that has been celebrated by teachers and philosophers, poets, and writers of all kinds throughout the ages, and has now been unambiguously validated by modern science. And you, Hamlin graduates, can lead the way and chart a new path forward. And when you do, you'll find that you have the wind on your back, because that's what the times are calling for. So the world will keep providing you with plenty of insistent, pleading, flashing, high-volume signals directing you to distract yourselves, to not be in the moment, to ignore your own well-being. But there will be far fewer signals reminding you to stay connected to the essence of who you are, to pause, to wonder, and to connect to that place of wisdom in you, that place from where everything is possible. Every day, Ian Thomas wrote, the world will drag you by the hand, yelling, this is important, and this is important, and this is important. You need to worry about this, and this, and this. And each day, it's up to you to yank your hand back and put it on your head, on your heart, and say, no, this is what's important. So as you leave this magical place, don't let technology or fear or anxiety or negative self-talk keep you from attending to your well-being, your wisdom, and your sense of wonder. Don't be so connected to everybody that you are not truly connected to anybody or to yourselves. And don't get so caught up in your busy life that life's mystery passes you by. So, Hamlin class of 2017, onward, upward, and inward. Congratulations, and go Lions!